Hello and good day, Mike Adcock here with an update on Tropical Depression Kiko in the South China Sea. This brief is based on the 9 Zulu JMA advisory from the 6th of August. Taking a look at that 9 Zulu position, 375 kilometers east of Da Nang. Winds are 30 knots, gusting to 45, and Kiko continues to move off to the northwest at 12 knots. Pressure right now down to about 1,000 hectopascal. Vietnam is looking at a tropical storm warning for portions of northern Vietnam. China, they have a blue typhoon warning out for Hainan province. Alright, taking a look at the surface analysis from JMA, you see high pressure really starting to build in from the Pacific, helping to keep the depression moving westward toward a weakness, actually being influenced by a trough extending into China. Surface plots don't really show a great deal here. One interesting fact, you see a 999.8 hectopascal report here. So some indications that we might actually be sub 1,000 in terms of our pressure. This was from 9 Zulu. Official JMA forecast continues it moving off to the northwest. We've seen the shift from basically a just north of west to now a good due northwest. What the more westerly than north track has done is shifted the track westward, and now we're starting to look at less of an effect for Hainan province and actually more of a beeline toward Hanoi. A lot of the agencies pretty much going with this brushing of Hainan province, putting it in the right front quadrant of the storm. This is the track from Vietnam, again just brushing Hainan, and then eventual landfall on the 8th near Hanoi. Of course, even though the track is brushing or just missing Hainan Island, does not prevent heavy rainfall. Of course, this is going to be a lot of rain showers and thunderstorms associated with this. So again, these regions expecting yet another round of heavy rainfall from a tropical cyclone. Here's the Hong Kong Observatory. Again, pretty much on par with what you've been seeing. Far southwestern corner of the island being struck. Really, the only outlier is the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, which is following more of a model track of NavGem, keeping quite a bit more west, and considering that the track has been trending more westward, this may end up, we'll have to see how it plays out, but this may end up being a very reasonable forecast. Do expect some continued development over the next couple days, especially if it avoids Hainan altogether. As in, we're buying ourselves another day and a half over water before it makes landfall in Hanoi, or near Hanoi anyway. So still some time for it to become a tropical storm. Does not look like it's going to be a very, very strong cyclone, but again, more rainfall for portions of southern southeastern China and really the northern half of Vietnam. Here's our track guidance. You can see that westward shift, especially with the NavGem and GFDN staying over water before landfall in Vietnam. So in turn, the intensity guidance a little bit better, or a little favoring more intensification, at least in the next day or two. The GFS really being the most bullish in terms of intensification. Dvorak ran through some issues with the cyclone today. It was making progress, kind of stalled out, saw some convection diminish. So it's yielded some interesting results in Dvorak. JMA is going with 1.5 for their final. National Weather Service, on the other hand, is a little stronger, calling it 2. They're seeing a pretty broad circulation and about 3/10 of a wrap on log 10. GTWC, on the other hand, data T, MET, pattern, all at 1.0. They only saw about a quarter wrap on the log 10. The only reason why their final intensity is at 2.0 is really based on constraints. They said convection's diminished, but it's starting to rebuild, and you saw that in the in the satellite loop. So yeah, it is pretty interesting. Of course, ADT looks like it's on the high end there, 2.6. That would yield about 39 knots or so. So I think that's pretty bullish considering what we're seeing from the microwave imagery. About 4Z, not a whole lot. Granted, the pass missed the bulk of the cyclone, but a lot of that was on the east side. Not much there. I mean, you're seeing a few wind barbs there at 25 knots, but near the core, not a whole lot. So not very impressive, at least in the near term. Water temperatures, though, still awfully, plenty warm, 28 degrees Celsius, 29 or so. So no concerns there. 200 hectopascal, looking at the upper level pattern, do have quite a bit of outflow aloft. That's helping to at least help out the convection that's developed. Of course, there is quite a bit of shear on the south side. Strong winds, seen here 40 knots moving into central Vietnam. Trailing down to about 500 hectopascal. Low displaced quite a bit further south at this point. Some straight, more of a northeasterly flow over the cyclone. Still strong winds, 20-25 knots, 30 knots in some places. And then at 925, pretty broad circulation. You notice a lot of the convection well on the periphery of the cyclone, not so much over the cyclone center at this level. So more of a gyre than really a depression, full-blown depression at this point anyway. Shear tendency over the cyclone, not a little bit right now, bordering about 20 knots, but it's going to continue to move off in favor conditions and actually improving conditions. So that doesn't look like it will be too much of a hindrance anyway. And considering, the forecast does show that strengthening, this lines up with what we're seeing there. Danang right now getting into a little bit of light rain showers here at 11 Zulu. 25 degrees is the current temperature, light winds, just some visibility restrictions with that light rain, down to 6 kilometers, 1005 for the pressure. And that pretty much updates us today on Kiko. Of course, you can get this and other Western Pacific analysis over at westernpacificweather.com, or follow along on Twitter and Facebook. Of course, you can get or join in on the global tropical discussion at storm2k.org. Follow me on Twitter at Senior Pepper to get updates in between videos. And thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Take care.